Control Z, Control Shift Z, Control S, B, E, and S is the only 6 shortcuts that I use to create 3D avatar in Vroid Studio. There's a lot of shortcuts that I didn't know it exists. It amazed me of how I never knew about this shortcut. So without further ado, let's find out what type of shortcut that Vroid Studio has, and I will explain them one by one of how this shortcut works. So we are already covered the basic shortcut. The basic shortcut that I mentioned of is Control S. It means you can save your Vroid file in file that you want to save. Control Shift S, it was supposed to save your avatar as. However, when I try to Control Shift S, there is a notification pop up instead. But even if you save this character as save as, the only file that available is Vroid file. Control Z to undo like this. And if you want to redo your work, you can just press Control Shift Z. There we go. Hold the Control and press plus like this. And if you want to zoom out, you can just hold the Control and press minus like this. Other time I will using a mouse wheel to roll in to zoom in and roll out to zoom out. Hold right click like this, hold right click, and you can rotate your character around. And if you want to move your character around, you can just press middle mouse, hold middle mouse like this. And if you don't have a middle mouse wheel, you can even do this by pressing space and even hold the left click like this to move your character around. Now let's move on with camera movement. If you want to go back to the original scene, all you need to do is press number 1. There we go. So if you want to tilt your camera downward, you can press number 2. But if you want to tilt them upward, you can do that by pressing number 8. If you want to move your character to the right front, press number 3. That's it, just front right. So number 1, go back to the original position. Number 3 is to go to the right. So number 4 is to rotate to the left like this. Rotate to the left like this. If you want to rotate your character to the right, you can just press 6 to move your character around. Number 5 is to switch perspective. This is before we switch the front perspective. When I go to the top right here, press 5 and you see the difference. Switch perspective is the view based from the camera that you're viewing. For example, if I at the top of the head and this perspective, the view, it makes look like the shoe is really large, although it is not. So if you move around right here, actually the proportion is the same. It's just the camera view that make the character look large. If you want to see the view from top of your head, press number 7. Number 9 is to change position from the front to the back of your avatar right here. We already done covering the switching camera shortcut. Let's get to know about switching tabs at category editor. Please be careful if you are recording, or maybe if you want to do live streaming while doing your Vroid artwork, and then you suddenly press F5 to go to accessory tab, and that makes the OBS Studio stop. I will explain of how to switch tab category right here from face to upload VRM. Go to F1. Yes, you hear that tone? Yes. I think I might click something that I shouldn't have. Let me introduce you this shortcut. So for face is F1, F2 is hairstyles. I'm just clicking this tab category right here because if I accidentally click one of the keyboard tab, I might restart my video over again, and I don't want that. F3 is body editor, F4 is outfit, F5 is accessories, F6 is for looks, F7 is photo booth. to upload your Vroid hub, press F9. If you want to switch tabs between preset and custom, for custom is Control 2. If you want to switch to preset, Control 1. So here we are in hairstyles category. Let's get to know about this shortcut first. So we all know that B stands for brush. If you want to go to select, press V. Let's click one of the hair strand right here. This is where we're going to retouch brush. Basically, retouch brush, they're just adding a control point. When I move the hair strand around like this, I basically adding a control point. However, as far as I remember, I have never ever used a control point. Never. And if you want to see the control point, go to C. This is where you need to adjust your hair manually. This is hair that I did with retouch brush versus hair strand that I never touched. And basically this is the control point that you have right here, and this is a control point where I using retouch brush to adding more control point. However, if the control point is too messy, you can just shorten the control point by pressing S. Not only to reduce the control point, but also smoothing the hair mesh like this. Please be careful when you're smoothing a hair strand, because if you're smoothing them too much, you don't have any place or even any of control point where you can adjust the hair mesh. This is the maximum of shorten that you can do. But if you want to add a control point, just go to F and then add a control point right here like this, and then go to C, which is control point. There we go. Let's move on with this tree symbol right here. Now as you hover your mouse through this icon right here, they are basically moving your hair around, rotate, and even resize your hair strand. You can't move, rotate, or resize your hair by clicking one of the hair strand. It doesn't work that way. If you want to move, to rotate, or even resize, you have to press one group of hair strand like this. This is one group of hair strand, and lo and behold, by pressing W to move your hair around like this. If you want to rotate your hair, you can do that by pressing E to rotate. And if you want to resize your hair, press R like this. Like this. There we go. If you want to delete one of a hair strand or a group of hair, click any of this hair and Control Delete. That's how you use a tools in hair categories. Okay, we are in hair textures editor right here. You already know that B stands for brush, E for eraser. I still don't know what a shortcut key for blur and even selection. I did press V for selection, but it doesn't work. If you want to pick any color, hold R like this. Pick any color that you want, for example like this. If you want to make your brush large, you can do that by pressing the square bracket to the right like this. How cool is that? And I never knew till now, and I am learning. If you want to decrease the brush width or brush size, you can do that by clicking square bracket to the left like this. So if you want to control your brush opacity, hold shift while press any of the square bracket to reduce the opacity, or maybe you want to up your opacity like this. You can even delete the layer right here by pressing delete like this. You can duplicate the textures layer by clicking this to duplicate and Control D. There we go. Control D again. There we go. So if you want to hide your layer, you can do that by pressing Control H to hide the layer. You can see the symbol eyes right here. It means it's hiding the layer. If you want to rename the layer, you can do that by Ctrl R. You can even name it whatever you want. Maybe a dot. Okay, done. And if you want to lock the layer without accidentally touching the other layer, you can do that by Ctrl L. If you want to move the layer, just press Ctrl and square bracket to the right. If you want the layer to go down, just press Ctrl square bracket to the left, like this. There we go. And you can even zoom in and zoom out using Ctrl plus right here. Zoom out by Ctrl minus here. You can even move the textures layer around by pressing space and hold the right click mouse like this. If you want to change a panel from brush to parameters, you can do that by pressing Ctrl 0. If you want to switch back to brush panel, you can do that by pressing Ctrl 9. Ctrl Shift I is basically import the layer, while Ctrl Shift E is to export the layer. Thank you for watching my videos till the end, and I see you later. Bye!